The death of awareness. Why your ignorance is destroying everything. Look around you, not just at your phone screen, but really look. Do you feel it? The silence, the emptiness? It's not the world that's empty, it's the people in it. Everywhere you turn, there's a staggering, mind-numbing lack of awareness. It's like an epidemic, infecting generation after generation. People aren't just oblivious to what's happening in the world, they're oblivious to themselves. We've become spectators in a world collapsing around us. Cities deteriorate, governments rot with corruption, and our planet groans under the weight of neglect. But the real tragedy isn't that these things are happening. The real tragedy is that most of you, yes, you, don't even care enough to notice. Somewhere along the line we stopped participating in life. We stopped caring about our towns, our communities, even our neighbors. We're so self-absorbed, so consumed by dopamine-fueled distractions, that we don't even realize the very ground beneath us is crumbling. We've created a culture of blind apathy, where looking away has become easier than facing the truth. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you gave a damn about anything outside your bubble? Did you vote in your local election? Do you know what's happening with your city's infrastructure? Or is your knowledge limited to the latest Netflix show and TikTok trend? This ignorance isn't just dangerous, it's catastrophic. It wasn't always this way. There was a time when people stood up for something, when they rallied to protect their homes, their rights, their futures. Think about the civil rights movement. Think about the protests against the Vietnam War. People cared, they acted, and they changed the world. But today, most people wouldn't even cross the street to sign a petition, let alone march for justice. So, what happened? Psychologists call it learned helplessness. We've been conditioned to believe we can't make a difference. The problems feel too big, the solutions too far out of reach. And when we believe we're powerless, we stop trying. Instead, we retreat. We distract ourselves with endless scrolling, binge-watching, and hollow consumerism. We've replaced activism with apathy, community with isolation, and purpose with emptiness. The irony? The very world you're ignoring will eventually force you to pay attention. When your city is too dangerous to walk through, when your water is poisoned, when your job disappears because the system has failed, you won't have a choice. You'll be dragged out of your self-absorbed haze and into the chaos. And by then, it'll be too late. If you're still not convinced, let me tell you a story. In 2011, the people of Flint, Michigan started noticing something was wrong with their water. It smelled, it tasted metallic, it made them sick. For years they fought to be heard, but no one listened. Why? Because no one cared. The government ignored them, the media ignored them, and the people who weren't directly affected, they turned a blind eye. By the time the crisis finally made headlines, children had already been poisoned and countless lives were ruined. And here's the kicker: Flint isn't an isolated incident. It's a preview of what happens when apathy becomes the norm. When we stop caring, we stop protecting ourselves. Now think about your own community. How many issues are you ignoring? How many problems are festering while you're busy scrolling through memes and selfies? Here's the truth. This isn't just about ignorance, it's about fear. It's easier to pretend the world isn't falling apart than to face the reality that you might have to do something about it. But that fear, that avoidance, is turning you into a slave to a system that thrives on your inaction. Psychologists have a term for this too: bystander effect. The more you wait for someone else to fix the problem, the worse it gets. And here's the bitter truth: you're not going to be saved. No one is coming to rescue you. If you're not part of the solution, you are the problem. If this feels harsh, good, it should. You need to feel uncomfortable because comfort is killing you. It's numbing you. You've been lulled into a coma of apathy, and it's time to wake up. The power to change everything is right there in your hands. But it requires something most of you haven't done in years: caring. Start small. Look around you. Ask questions. Get involved. Educate yourself. And most importantly, stop hiding. The problems won't go away just because you ignore them. If you found this video uncomfortable, good. That means it hit where it needed to. Subscribe to Dark Mind Psyop. Share this video. It's time to wake people up before it's too late.